Member for McKillop.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I rise today to acknowledge and pay tribute to Naracoorte resident and CFS stalwart Mr Rex Hall, AFSM. Rex passed away aged 84 on the 2nd of June this year. I also acknowledge Rex's son, Alan, daughter-in-law, Christine, and the CFS Deputy Chief Officer, Georgie Cornish, who are here today in the chamber. Rex was remembered at a memorial service on the 15th of July. Hundreds attended to celebrate the life of not only a father, family man, expert chrysanthemum grower and champion ram breeder, but a dedicated volunteer, author and lifelong member of the South Australian Country Fire Service. Rex began his CFS career on December 2nd, 1960, when the One Tree Hill EFS Brigade was formed. This resulted in Rex becoming inaugural secretary and substation officer for all his 15 years at One Tree Hill. In early 1975, Rex and his wife Dawn and son Alan moved down to a property they purchased between Willaluka and Keith called Gadang. During this time, Rex became a champion ram breeder with his Pole Dorset and later White Suffolk studs. His expertise was recognised with championships at many Adelaide and Melbourne Royal shows. Rex later went on to judge at many shows, including Royal Adelaide, Wagga Wagga, Melbourne Royal, Hobart, Perth Royal and many more. Being a community-minded man, Rex was a foundation player and a member and inaugural president of the Willaluka Cricket Club. He was heavily involved in the Willaluka Progress Association and helped develop the Willaluka Oval. For many years, Rex was the brigade captain of the Willaluka CFS and sat on several committees, including the Tatiara Firefighting Association Training Committee, Communications Committee and Equipment Committee. This led to roles of regional and state training committee representatives and CFS board liaison positions. Rex was passionate about training, and during these years he spent countless hours training volunteers across the southeast. In the mid-90s, he was an instigator and a driving force behind the establishment of the CFS Southeast Training Centre in Naracoorte. In 1994, Rex was awarded the Australian Fire Service Medal for his distinguished service to the Australian Fire Service. In the late 90s, retirement beckoned, and with a move to Naracoorte, however, Rex could not sit idle. Once again, the CFS played a large part in his life, and Rex took on the role of Deputy Group Officer with the Naracoorte CFS. He was on the State Incident Management Team for several years, which saw him deployed to all corners of the state, as well as to incidents in Victoria and New South Wales. He also spent many years as both local and state representative for the CFS Volunteer Association. It was through his involvement with the CFS Volunteer Association and a trip to New Zealand that sparked his passion for preserving our CFS history, along with fellow volunteer Russell Branson of Commons. Rex had a vision for a South Australian Firefighters Museum to honour the history of the CFS and preserve and protect memorabilia and vintage fire vehicles. This vision came to fruition in his town of Naracoorte. Stage 1 of the museum was opened in February 2020. Sadly, he didn't live to see Stage 2 completed, which involves a visitor and training centre and a conference facility. Rex and his committee of volunteers were also the driving force behind the state's first CFS memorial to honour volunteer firefighters who have lost their lives in the line of duty. This was opened in Naracoorte in 2016, and every year a memorial service is held. Rex was held in such high regard, dignitaries including state and federal politicians, ministers and mayors would attend. The memorial is hugely important, especially in regional communities. It represents the ultimate sacrifice made by enormously important volunteer CFS firefighters who dedicate their time to protect lives and infrastructure. Bushfires have and will continue to be a massive threat to our regions. I thank Rex for recognising the need for a memorial where we can pay our respects to those who, through their volunteering, pay the ultimate price while protecting our communities and our livelihoods. Since 2016, Rex has written 6 books, all about the CFS, its history and fighting fires. His last book, Volunteer Firefighting in South Australia, was launched at his memorial service. In 2022, his dedication to the CFS family was recognised when he received the South Australian CFS 60 Years Service Medal. And on the 16th of May this year, Rex was awarded the first life membership of the South Australian Volunteer Firefighters Museum, a truly deserving honour. Over the past few years, Rex's mobility decreased, and with that his ability to undertake active roles in the CFS. However, he still loved his loved to organise functions that brought people together. One of his last was a gathering in Naracoorte for Australian Fire Service medal recipients. He was determined to attend this function, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. Rex passed away before seeing his event be a huge success. Rex has an enormous void in the South Australian Country Fire Service, but his legacy will live on in South Australian Volunteer Firefighters Museum and the CFS Memorial. I thank Rex for his service to the community, his passion and drive for the CFS, and his Volunteer Firefighters Museum and Memorial will long be remembered. May he rest in peace.
Thank you. Before I call the next speaker, just on behalf of the House, I'd like to extend our condolences to the family. I had the privilege of meeting Rex in Naracoorte and also visiting his museum. So a great man, a gentleman, I'd say. Yep.